And since this is already 10, I don't have to change this numerator at all. I'm going to leave that the same. So no changes there. But this 5, to go from 5 to 10, I actually have to multiply by 2, because 5 times 2 is 10. If I multiply by 2 on bottom, I multiply by 2 on top. You have to do the same thing to top and bottom. That way this fraction is the same value. 2/10 plus 2/10, that's going to equal 4/10. Since these are both even, I can divide them both by 2 to reduce this. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 10 divided by 2 is 5, so the answer is 2/5. For this one here, I have 3/8 plus 1/4. So, again, larger denominator, look at that first, it's 8. Can 4 go into that evenly? Yes, it can. So my denominators are going to be 8 and 8. Now, since this is already 8, I don't need to make any changes to the fraction. That stays 3/8. But this one, to go from 4 to 8, I have to multiply by 4 by 2. And if I multiply by 2 on bottom, I have to do it on top. So now I've got 3/8 plus 2/8. 3 plus 2 is 5. Denominator stays the same. Can't reduce it, so there's my answer, 5/8. This one right here, 3/4 plus 2/3. Now, I look at my larger denominator. It's 4. I look at the smaller one. Can that go in that evenly? Not at all. It goes in there, but there's a remainder. So then what I do is say, okay, well, take this larger one and start going through the multiples of it. 4 times 2 is 8. Does 3 go in there without a remainder? Nope. 4 times 3 is 12. And of course 3 goes in there, so 12 is going to be our common denominator. So I got something over 12 plus something over 12. Now to go from 4 to 12, 4 times 3 equals 12. If I multiply by 3 on bottom, I have to do it on top. 3 times 3 is 9. So I've got 9/12 there. For this one, to go from 3 to 12, well, you got to multiply 3 by 4 to get 12. And if I multiply by 4 on bottom, I multiply by 4 on top. 2 times 4 is 8. So now, 9 plus 8, that's actually going to be 17. Denominator's 12. And this is an interesting situation. I've got an improper fraction. I need to turn this improper fraction into a mixed number. Now, what I'm going to do, and I do this in my head, but you can use paper for it if you want, is I do long division. So this right here, top number goes in the division box, bottom number outside. 12 goes into 17 one time. 1 times 12 is 12, and 17 minus 12 is 5. So it's 1, remainder 5. The 1 is the whole number, the remainder is the new numerator, and the denominator, just like always, stays the same. So the final answer for this, 1 and 5/12. So now we're going to do some more addition and subtraction problems with mixed numbers and see how that goes. Let me get some problems up here for you. Okay, so there are 3 problems for you. Go ahead and pause the video, write them down, work them out, and then we're going to go over it. Okay, so here we go. The first one here, I actually have common denominators. Now, easiest way to do this is turn them all into improper fractions, then do your addition, subtraction, then convert it all back. So let's go ahead and do that. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. So we have 16 over 5. 5 times 2 is 10, and 10 plus 3 is 13. So we have 13 over 5. 16 plus 13 is going to be 29. So I have 29 over 5. Now I need to turn this back into a mixed number. Well, I know that 5 goes into 30 6 times, but we don't have 30. We have 29. Well, 5 times 5 is 25. So it goes in there 5 times. And the difference between 25 and 29 is 4. And denominator is 5. For those of you not sure how I went from that to that, it was long division. 5 goes in here 5 times, pardon me. 5 times 5 is 25. 29 minus 25 is 4. Now, if you're really struggling with multiplication, you just never learned your times tables, you can use your calculator for this. So if you really didn't know what you were doing, you can say, okay, what's 5 times 2? Nope, too small. 5 times 3? Too small. 5 times 4? Too small, but getting closer. 5 times 5? Oh, getting really close. 5 times 6? Oh no, that's too big. So you can use your calculator to kind of help you out, especially with some of the bigger numbers if you don't know it. So don't be afraid to use that. Alright, this one right here. 5 1/3 plus 2 1/4. So, improper fractions. 3 times 5 is 15, and 15 plus 1 is 16. So we have 16 thirds plus 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 plus 1 is 9. 9/4. Now, we need to get common denominators. The larger denominator is 4. Can the smaller one go in there evenly? Nope, there's a remainder. 4 times 2 is 8. 3 doesn't go in there without a remainder. 4 times 3 is 12, and of course 3 goes into that, so we need common denominators of 12. Now, 3 times what is 12? 4. If I multiply by 4 there, I multiply by 4 here. In the calculator, 16 times 4, 64. Now, 4 times what is 12? 3. And if I multiply by 3 there, I multiply by 3 here. 9 times 3, 27. Now I add those up. 64 plus 27, I get 91. So I have 91/12. Then I go ahead and I divide that in there and I say, okay, 12 goes into 91, how many times? So again, if you didn't know how to do this, you can try and guess. Here's another method that will help you out. There you go, you can see the calculator better. I'm trying to divide this by 12 and figure out what it is. If I just go right in there and say 91 divided by 12, I get 7 as a whole number and I get a whole bunch of decimals. The whole number is what I want. I ignore everything after the decimal point. Still set it up long division style. We know it goes in there 7 times and it has some sort of crazy decimal, but I want a remainder. So in the calculator, 7 times 12, and I get 84. 91 minus 84 is 7, so it's 7, remainder 7. There's my whole number, remainder, denominator stays the same. That's how you can do that one. This one right here, 5 times 3 is 15, 15 plus 4 is 19. 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 plus 1 is 7. Now, I can't do this yet because I have different denominators. Common denominator here is going to be 15. So we have something over 15 minus something over 15. Well, here I have to multiply by 3 on top and bottom, and 19 times 3 is 57. And here I have to multiply by 5 on top and bottom, and 7 times 5 is 35. So now in my calculator, 57 minus 35, I end up with 22. So I've got 22 over 15. Well, 15 only fits in there one time, because 15 times 2 is 30. And there's 7 left over. Denominator is still 15, can't reduce it, so we're done. Alright, we only have one more question that I want to show you. What to do when you have a whole number. So, let's say we had 8 minus 2 1/4. So, go ahead and pause the video, try and work that one out. Press play when you're ready. Alright, there's 2 different ways you can do this, okay? One way, and this is a little bit more advanced, see how this denominator is 4? I can rewrite this if I want to and say, alright, this is 7 4/4. Think about it. 8 equals 7 plus 1, right? 7 plus 1 is 8. Well, this equals 1, and this is 7. 7 plus 1, 8. If I have it like this, and I look at the problem, now I can say 4/4 minus 1/4 is 3/4, and 7 minus 2 is 5, and I'm done. That way is pretty advanced. If you don't feel comfortable with it, don't do it, because I don't want you to get questions wrong, because you're trying to be a hero on your test. A right answer is a right answer. It doesn't matter how much work you put into it. So let's take a look at the other way we can solve this. To make this into a fraction, like any number, I just put it over 1. To make this an improper fraction, 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 plus 1 is 9. So I have 9/4 here, and I have 8 over 1 here, and it's subtracting. Common denominator is going to be 4, so Since that's already 4, that stays 9/4. This one, I had to multiply by 4 there. I multiply by 4 here. 8 times 4 is 32. 32 minus 9 is going to be 23. So now I have 23/4. 4 goes into 23 5 times, because 5 times 4 is 20. The remainder is 3. The denominator is 4. All right, boys and girls, if you can do all of those, you should be set for 100. Sorry about getting this video, making it so long, but I want to make sure it was really good and really thorough. And definitely check out the other playlists, or the other videos if you have questions on any sections and want more detail in it. All right, good luck.